Have you ever wondered if your dog truly understands when you are crying, or if your cat really knows something is wrong when you sit in silence staring at the wall? Is it love instinct or something we do not yet fully understand? Let me tell you a story. A woman named Elena had just received the worst phone call of her life. Her mother had passed away suddenly. She hung up the phone and collapsed onto her kitchen floor, unable to move, unable to think. Her golden retriever Max had been sleeping in the other room. He had not heard the conversation. He had not seen her face. But within seconds, he was there. He walked slowly toward her, lowered his head, and pressed his body against hers. For the next 3 hours, he did not move. He did not ask to go outside. He did not look for food. He simply stayed. Elena later said it felt like Max knew exactly what was happening inside her heart. But did he really know? Or was something else going on? That question is what this video is about. Scientists have been asking this question for decades, and the answers are more complex and more fascinating than you might expect. In 2018, researchers at the University of London conducted a study where they exposed dogs to people who were either humming, talking, or crying. The results were striking. The dogs consistently approached people who were crying regardless of whether that person was their owner or a complete stranger. They did not simply go to whoever was making noise. They specifically responded to signs of distress. Similar studies have been done with cats, though cats tend to get less credit for emotional awareness. Research published in the journal Animal Cognition showed that cats do change their behavior based on their owner's emotional state, though their responses are often more subtle than dogs. They might stay closer, watch more intently, or choose to sit in the same room rather than wander off. Horses have shown remarkable sensitivity to human emotions as well. Studies from the University of Sussex found that horses can read human facial expressions and remember them, adjusting their behavior accordingly. Even elephants in sanctuaries have been documented responding to caretakers experiencing grief or stress. But here is what makes this truly interesting. Knowing that animals respond to our sadness is one thing. Understanding how they detect it is another matter entirely. Your body tells a story even when your mouth says nothing. When you are sad, your posture changes. Your shoulders drop. Your head tilts downward. Your movements become slower, smaller, more hesitant. Animals are extraordinarily skilled at reading these physical cues, far more skilled than most humans realize. Dogs in particular have evolved over thousands of years, alongside humans developing an almost uncanny ability to interpret our body language. Research has shown that dogs focus intensely on human faces, especially the left side of the face, which tends to display emotions more prominently. When you are experiencing sadness, micro-expressions appear on your face that you cannot consciously control. Your dog might be reading these signals without you ever knowing. Your heart rate changes when you are emotionally distressed. Your breathing becomes irregular. Your body temperature shifts. These are all signals that animals can detect. A cat lying on your lap can feel the vibration of your heartbeat. A dog sitting at your feet can sense the tension in your muscles. One fascinating study found that dogs can synchronize their heartbeats with their owners during moments of calm connection. When that rhythm breaks, when your heart starts racing or beating irregularly due to emotional pain, your dog notices. It is like a disruption in a pattern they have come to expect. But perhaps the most remarkable detection system animals possess is one we cannot see at all. Your body is a chemistry lab, constantly producing and releasing compounds that change based on your emotional state. When you experience stress, grief, or anxiety, your body releases cortisol and other stress hormones. These chemicals do not stay inside you. They seep out through your skin, your breath, your sweat. And while humans cannot detect these changes, dogs absolutely can. A dog's sense of smell is estimated to be between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than a human's. They have up to 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our 6 million. This means they are essentially smelling your emotional state. Researchers at Queen's University Belfast demonstrated that dogs can detect human stress through smell alone. In the study, dogs were presented with breath and sweat samples from humans before and after a stressful task. The dogs could correctly identify the stress samples with over 93% accuracy. Think about what that means. Your dog does not just see that you are sad, your dog smells that you are sad. The chemical signature of your grief is as real to them as the color of your shirt is to you. Some scientists believe dogs may even be able to detect tears specifically, that the chemical composition of emotional tears differs from regular tears, and dogs can tell the difference. While this research is still ongoing, it suggests that when your dog comes to comfort you while you cry, they may literally be smelling your sorrow. Now let me share some stories that might stay with you. In Japan, a hospital therapy dog named Chibi became famous for his behavior in the oncology ward. Nurses reported that Chibi would sometimes refuse to leave certain patients' rooms, staying with them through the night, even when called away. In nearly every case, these were patients who passed away within 24 to 48 hours. No one knows exactly what Chibi was detecting, but the families of those patients said his presence brought immense comfort during the final hours. In Brazil, a community cat named Gatinho became known throughout a small town for appearing at homes where someone had recently experienced a loss. Residents reported that he would show up uninvited, sit quietly in the corner, and stay for exactly 3 days before moving on. Whether coincidence or something more, the townspeople came to see his visits as a blessing. A woman in Canada shared her experience online about her parrot, a normally chatty and demanding bird who fell completely silent during the weeks following her miscarriage. The parrot would simply sit close to her, occasionally making soft sounds she had never heard before. When she finally began to feel better, the parrot gradually returned to its usual self. These stories exist in every culture and every corner of the world. They suggest something profound about the relationships between humans and animals, something science is only beginning to map. But here is where things get complicated. And I want to be honest with you about the limits of what we know. When your dog comes to comfort you while you cry, are they feeling sadness because you feel sadness? Are they experiencing something like empathy? Or are they simply responding to a learned pattern? Maybe they know that when you make crying sounds, something is different, and their presence usually results in positive outcomes for them, like extra attention or treats. Some scientists argue that what looks like empathy might actually be emotional contagion, a simpler phenomenon where an animal catches your emotional state like a yawn without truly understanding it. Your distress makes them distressed, and coming close to you helps reduce their own discomfort. Other researchers point out that even if we call it emotional contagion, that is still significant. It means your emotional state genuinely affects them. It means they are not indifferent to your inner world. Whether or not they understand why you are sad, they feel the weight of it in some way. The honest answer is that we cannot know for certain what animals experience internally. We can measure their hormones, observe their behaviors, and scan their brains. But we cannot ask them what they feel and get a verbal answer. Perhaps the question itself reveals more about human limitations than animal ones. What we do know is that the bond between an individual human and an individual animal changes everything. Studies consistently show that animals respond more sensitively to the emotions of people they know and trust. A dog who has lived with you for years will detect your sadness faster, respond more consistently, and stay closer than a dog meeting you for the first time. This is not just familiarity. It is attunement, built over countless shared moments. Humans and dogs have coexisted for at least 15,000 years, possibly much longer. Over that time, we have evolved together. Dogs developed the ability to read human cues because it helped them survive alongside us. Humans developed the ability to bond with dogs because it helped us hunt, stay safe, and perhaps, most importantly, feel less alone. This relationship is written into our biology. When you gaze into your dog's eyes, both of you experience a surge of oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds mothers to infants. You are not imagining the connection. It is chemically real. Over time, your animal learns the specific rhythms of your life. They learn what you look like when you wake up happy versus when you wake up anxious. They learn the difference between your laugh and your nervous chuckle. They learn which silences mean peace and which mean pain. This accumulated knowledge creates a sensitivity that no stranger animal could match. So what does all of this mean for how we live? If animals can detect our sadness, if they are affected by our emotional states, if they respond to our pain with what looks remarkably like compassion, then perhaps we owe them something in return. Therapy animal programs have grown dramatically in recent decades, placing trained animals in hospitals, nursing homes, disaster zones, and schools. The evidence supporting their effectiveness is strong. People recovering from surgery heal faster when they interact with therapy animals. Children with anxiety perform better in school when reading dogs are present. Veterans with post-traumatic stress experience fewer symptoms when paired with service animals. These programs work because they tap into something ancient and genuine about the human-animal bond. Not a trick, not a placebo, a real connection that affects both parties. But beyond formal programs, there is something simpler to consider. If your animal is aware of your emotional states, then they deserve the same consideration from you. They have inner lives that matter. They experience something when you are gone. They feel something when you return. The depth of their emotional world may remain partly mysterious, but its existence is no longer in question. Maybe the question we started with is not the right question at all. Instead of asking whether animals know when we are sad, perhaps we should ask what it means that they seem to care. What does it tell us about the nature of connection? What does it reveal about loneliness and comfort? What does it suggest about the invisible threads that tie living beings together? The woman I told you about at the beginning, Elena, said something that has stayed with me. She said that when Max pressed himself against her on that kitchen floor, she did not feel like she had to explain anything. She did not have to find the right words. She did not have to perform her grief in a way that others would understand. Max simply knew, or at least he acted as if he did. And in that moment, the distinction did not matter. Perhaps that is the most honest answer. We may never fully know what animals understand about our sadness, but we know what their presence gives us. And maybe that is enough. If this video made you think about your own animal companion differently, I would love to hear your story. Leave a comment below about a time when your pet seemed to know exactly what you were feeling. If you found this exploration valuable, consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like so more people can discover it. Thank you for spending these 15 minutes with me, and give your animal a little extra love today. They might understand more than you know.